Welcome, adventurers, to Break, Battle, and Roll presents On Tap, where the dice are always rolling, the stories ever flowing, and the drinks are as strong as our bonds. Your barkeep, Aaron Rollins, here, as well as our host, Ben Holland, along with some of our favorite tavern patrons, ready to serve up a frothy mix of tabletop tales and tips with a splash of humor and a twist of your favorite bar banter. Whether you're a seasoned dungeon chug master or a newbie that's only started wetting their whistle, there's always a seat for you at the bar. From ale-raising adventures to mead-worthy moments, we promise a beautiful blend of fantasy and fun. And now here is your host, Ben Holland.
Welcome to another episode of On Tap. I am your host, Ben, and with me are my friends who are not supposed to be playing with fidget toys while we're recording, starting with Chad Stafford.
I don't feel the need to call myself out, but I'll do it nonetheless. I was guilty of said thing.
Yeah. I'm also always guilty of said thing, and I have to put them all out of sight because I'm a child and I need to play with a toy. Aaron Rollins, what do you think?
What, you don't think I'm supposed to be doing this right now? I mean, don't you all like that? Now fuck this thing.
Oh, and I would like Janelle to bring some sanity to the situation, but I know that's not possible. Hi, Janelle.
Oh, hi. I've also been hacking the sack along with you guys. Oh, fuck.
We've also been laughing like dimwit ploys.
Yeah.
Using the last time we recorded because I didn't get this on mic, but this is also a semi fidget,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe if it comes through on the mic, I'll keep it. But hold on, here we go.
Love it. Wind chime dice.
Those your jangle dice?
All right, they're gone.
We are all children, aren't we? Playing with the toys.
Maybe the dice. Get a good picture of the dice, and we can use that as the promo image for when we send out this episode. For
The
this
dice
episode.
in the hacky sack.
The dice in the
it's
hacky
just
sack.
nothing but fidget toys.
Yes.
Dude, I have at least 5 of them within eyeshot, and that's a problem.
This harkens back to when we first started recording Break, Battle, and Roll, and poor Chad was having to edit out so much background noise because we were not taking care to rid our hands of fidget toys and
Your ring.
What was it, like my rings clacking against dice?
Man, Chad, I have a basket. I actually bought like this wicker basket that sits next to my PC, and there's probably a good 20 to 25 different options in that basket.
That's lovely, though. That's nice.
It's constant. Yeah. Oh, but that's not what we're not here to talk about. Fidget toys. We're here. This was a little bit inspired because of our last song, Arrest, which hopefully everyone went and listened to. We went way off the rails in talking about Expedition 33 and talking about Mass Effect. And I kind of had that thought that we've done 2 on taps and we've never really talked about us.
Ooh, does that mean that we are on the menu tonight? Are we drinking our personalities? Is that what we're pouring?
Personalities are back on the menus, boys. So, I mean, I had a blast in that little bit of song rest. So I thought we'd talk about that a little bit more because everyone can learn a little bit more about us. And this, Aaron and I had I don't know if anyone uses Marco Polo, if everyone knows what that is, but Aaron and I talk on Marco Polo sometimes during the week. And we had like this back and forth conversation to keep our sanity at our jobs that week a little bit about like our favorite video games. And then we were talking about how our top 10 had changed since we were kids and to now. And it was a fun conversation. And a lot of the games that Aaron were giving me was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense for you. Like that's right. From what I know about you, that makes a lot of sense. And so I was thinking about like, gosh, movies and TV and just pop culture and video games and books, and that I've very rarely had those I've had a lot of those conversations with Chad for sure, especially movies and TV shows, but I've never talked to Janelle about it. Never really talked to Aaron about it. And I wanted to learn a little bit more about you guys. And then I figured other people could hear it too. So everyone down for that today?
So today's custom crafted concoction is, what shaped your geekiness?
Yes, that is a good way to put about it. So here's my first question. I'm going to ask it to Chad. Chad, you ready?
No. Okay, yes.
Okay. What movie did you have on repeat as a kid?
That answer changes a lot depending on the age range. But if I had to pick a singular movie that I have probably watched, there was a lot of obsessions. And I think, of course, there was the Disney phase, and that never stopped. But I will tell you, the first time that there was like an obsession with watching a movie over and over and over again would have been between, this is going to be a weird jump, but either it would be between Empire Strikes Back or The Iron Giant.
Oh,
wow.
Iron Giant is in my current top 5, Chad.
Yes, it'll always be in my top 10, maybe even top 5. It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
And I only watched it a year ago for the first time. So that's so cool. I love that it's...
Oh my God. I wonder how that was impactful as an adult in comparison to being impactful as a kid.
I did not get carded at the bar today. So yeah, I guess I am an adult.
Okay, because I'm not.
are any of us?
I'm certainly not. So, Chad, quick sidebar. What do you think is the most underrated Disney movie, and why is it Atlantis: The Lost Empire?
Yes!
I would say it's a tie between Atlantis and Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet. Yep.
Oh, Treasure Planet.
Yeah, Treasure Planet was another one that was on repeat a lot. I'd always loved sci-fi. I was much more of a sci-fi obsessed than like, your standard fantasy, like Lord of the Rings type of thing. Like sci-fi always hooked me, but Treasure Planet was that perfect combination of those two kind of like worlds where you do have the fantastical element, but it's also based in this sci-fi world. So those were two absolute, and Atlantis is pretty similar to that because you're combining sort of like old mythology of Atlantean and these sort of steampunky-esque like Jules Verne inspired submarines and tanks and stuff. So that was also a great kind of like combination of those two,
Alongside the early 2000s obsession with skateboards.
tech decks.
Oh man,
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah. I have so many hours sunk into the school level in Tony Hawk 2. It's probably a disgusting number. I loved that game. Aaron, you were way too excited when I asked this question.
Oh, well, yeah, I do because but this also dates us because like you listen to Chad's answer and I'm like, yeah, that absolutely rock on, man. That is the movie to be. And then I think about my answer and I go, shit, because it's definitely the era where you've got just a bunch of blank DVDs, or not DVDs, VHS tapes.
Yeah, man.
That have no writing or maybe something scribbled out on them, and they were definitely recorded over something at some point. So, we had Howard the Duck in Space Camp playing all the frickin' time.
Oh.
Howard the Duck, really? Like the George Lucas Howard the Duck?
Yes, I've watched that movie so many friggin' times because, like back then,
wow,
we had a very limited selection of what movies were available. And it was like, what did my parents or my older brothers get recorded onto these VHS tapes? And so, yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind. That maybe even Enemy Mine. That was also one I watched a million times.
So good.
Yeah. So, child of the 80s.
Yeah. So the scene in Enemy Mine where he's asleep at night and the monster like pops up and starts trying to grab him. You know what I mean? Like the thing that lives under the sand. I used to have nightmares about that when I was like 6 and 7 years old, like actual nightmares.
I still quote. So like there's for anyone who hasn't seen it, there's this part where Dennis Quaid is basically a human who's stranded on a planet with a alien of that they're normally like enemies, but they have to like work together to survive. And at one point the alien gets mad at Dennis Quaid, and to spite him, he goes, "Mickey Mouse was a stupid dope." And it's like, you take that back.
That's the most PG insult I think I've ever heard.
Have you guys ever seen that movie, or is it just Aaron and I?
I've never.
Okay,
No, I've not seen it.
It's a classic. It's really. I haven't seen it in probably like 15 to 20 years. I wonder if it holds up.
Same.
You'll have to send us the clip of the scary thing, though.
Oh yeah. It was it was a monster that lived underground, and it sent a tentacle up out of the sand to grab whatever it wanted and pull it under the sand to eat it. And they like dug themselves into pits. It's actually pretty creepy, because like the tentacle comes up and it's got these barbs on the end of it, and it's how it attaches to you.
It like rips their leg as it's like holding them. Yeah,
It's actually pretty creepy. And I remember having a nightmare about it, and it was so vivid, like hit my back. Right. And I woke up having a back spasm because of it.
Oh my gosh.
Like I remember, and I had to be like 6 or 7. And I remember that so vividly. And still love the movie though. Janelle, what movie did you have on repeat as a kid?
This was a really hard one for me to answer because I there were so many, and I'm glad that I was like second to last here. I think the one I always went to when I was not feeling well was I would watch Mulan. I mean, just such a good like misfit story, lovable weirdos. I just loved it. And it had great music too. But I would have to say the like maybe slightly more out there one, maybe not that out there, Fern Gully.
Oh, yes.
Ferngully. Yeah, Ferngully rules.
Hello, Ferngully.
Yeah. I think I loved it just because of seeing all the like abundance of nature and everything. That I was obsessed with that sort of thing. I wanted my room to look like the Rainforest Cafe and everything. I just loved that. But I was talking to Joe recently, who either has not seen the movie or I don't think he's seen it. He's like, I really want to see it. I'm like, it's pretty weird, actually, now that I think about it.
Dude, he hasn't seen a sexualized version of toxic
Dude, that's what I was going to bring up is like they make a the villain is a sexy smog. Yep, Tim Curry playing a sexy smog.
I don't know how I'm feeling about this. They made pollution sexy.
It was very funny.
Oh, Ferngully, the original Avatar movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's what we always talk with Avatar, that it was grown up Ferngully.
I'm gonna throw Janelle. I'm gonna throw one out there because now we're talking about like Brent even brought this up with like nightmare fuel as a kid, like something that just kind of stuck in your brain, and maybe this one might be a long shot because I think it was animated in Japan and then dubbed, but it was Little Nemo in Slumberland.
Yes. I was just thinking about that scary stuff behind the door.
Yes, this like he starts off as like the smoke tendril thing behind the door that he eventually just becomes almost like, you know, Chernobog, like Nightmare on the Hill type of creature, and like that. I don't remember a lot about the movie specifically, but that silhouette of that design kind of stuck with me. It was very Don Bluth-esque in terms of sort of that nightmarish imagery, and he was the perfect guy to combine nightmares and then whimsical fantasy. Like, I don't know, he just always had that dialed in somehow.
I just remember when they went down to that door and that creepy music, like they go underground and he opens the door for the first time and he just sees what's behind it and is so horrified by it. Like he almost freezes and it tries to come out and they like slam the door closed. And I just remember being absolutely terrified by that. And it was making me think of the feelings you were describing, Ben, talking about the movie you and Aaron had watched.
I'm looking it up. It came out as a 1989 anime film. And then it was brought over to the US for a theatrical release. Wow, 1989.
So fun aside, which I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit on our conversations, but I think Little Nemo was one of the first video games that I was absolutely disappointed in and wanted to take back.
There's a video game?
Because Little Nemo and the Dream Master, it is an NES title, and it is so fucking hard. And you give that to like a 7-year-old who thinks like, oh, this looks awesome. It's like and I was like, can you return video games? My parents like, no, you can't return that. We could have. No one was making an effort, which is typical.
That was back in the day where they didn't give a crap if you beat those games or not.
Oh yeah, beat a game in an hour, bring it back, whatever. We'll package it as new and sell it again. Like, who cares? Yeah, but no, yeah, Little Nemo and The Dream Master came out in 1990. So it must have been a year after that anime came out.
Wow.
But what about movies for you, Ben?
Movies. So I was in this. I didn't realize this until I was a lot older. But I was in this really privileged position where my dad, after he stopped being a police officer, he actually co-owned an audio video store in Metro Center Mall, which no longer exists in
Wow.
Arizona.
Oh my gosh.
Which is where the movie Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure was filmed, by the way, when they run through the mall. And I know that because I was there that day, because my dad worked there. My dad worked there.
That's insane.
And
That's so cool.
They closed the mall, but like we got to go in because, you know, he worked there. And I don't remember almost anything about it. I'm not in the movie in any way, but I was around the set that day. So one of the things that they did for like selling TVs and stuff like that is those TV companies would send them promo VHSs or Betamax tapes, one of the two, because you remember, if you guys remember going into just a TV store and just giant walls of TVs, but they're all playing the same movie, right? Because they're all synced up together, all the back machines. So my dad would just copy the movies in the back and bring them home. So we just had like this card catalog of VHS tapes and Betamax tapes. And when I got a VCR in my room, I was real young, and I don't know if Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or Goonies ever left it.
Oh man,
Indiana's definitely on that list.
Goonies on repeat.
Yeah, and Conan.
And Conan.
Those were like three movies that I had in my room, and they always just kept going over and over and over and over again. And then it was great because my dad would put new movies in there, and there was a section, this is going to sound worse than it is, that was a different color drawer, and we weren't allowed to go in that section. It was not adult films. Sorry to break all your hearts. But it was things like RoboCop and Terminator and stuff like that. And so we just wait until they went shopping, and then we just go in there and watch RoboCop and Terminator.
What's so funny is, like, what are they protecting you from if you're watching Conan where people get decapitated and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
no, my parents, if any consistency was in that house, was the consistency of being inconsistent.
Right.
Because they would, like, you know, they'd come home and get a movie for them. And I didn't realize, like, at that time that, like, it was not normal for every room in the house to have a VCR and a TV in it, because ours did.
That's not normal.
Yeah, I didn't realize, just like I didn't realize that, you know, that copy of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark that I had on Betamax cost like $200 for the store to get, right? So like it's not like it was now. But my parents would come home with like pizza and be like, and just, you know, here's the movie we rented for you, and here's the movie we rented for us. And it would just be like this R-rated film. Or when they rented us Heavy Metal, the animation, and I couldn't have been more than 10. And I was just like, this is great.
Wow. That explains a lot.
And this is why I am like I am. Yeah.
Hey, look, boobs.
I actually remember my mom coming back and being like, "What are you watching?" Like, "What, you got me?" Like,
yeah.
I don't
Hey,
know.
this is your fault.
Your fault, and it's fantastic.
I have to say, because this, when you were talking about RoboCop, like RoboCop was in the drawer we weren't supposed to open. So my first introduction into RoboCop, and I blame Marvel for this because I believe they're the ones that did it. So I think Marvel Television took on the RoboCop license to make it a children's animated series and also a comic book at the time. So I thought as a young child that RoboCop was a family friendly, you know, like cartoonish character. And then I'm like, oh, there's a movie. And I didn't realize, you know, that it's a rated R film. So the first thing that you see is Alex Murphy getting absolutely obliterated in the most grotesque, almost cartoonishly violent way. And like absolutely being scarred and being like, this was a cartoon, and not realizing that the cartoon was spun from the freaking movie. You know, in my brain, it was the other way around. And I'm like, what is happening? What is this?
I have a follow-up to your question, Ben, to go around the table. Speaking of movies, you know, we've answered what movie was always on repeat and whatnot. What movie as a kid scared the hell out of you?
Oh, can I go?
Yeah, please.
Because especially some of you will laugh if you know anything about me. Alien.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're watching Alien as a kid. That's your first problem.
So it was Aliens actually. Yeah. So what happened is I can't remember how old I was, but you know, sub 10 years old. And my dad was watching a movie in the middle of the afternoon, and I walked in, and it was the scene where the Marines are all like back in the medical bay, and they find the aliens like coming through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, watch this. And he's like, this is cool. And he showed it to me. I was like, oh yeah, no, this is neat. And we watched the rest of it. And to his credit, I really think that he would A, thought I was old enough to handle it, and B, he had seen something about it on TV, and he was explaining to me like how they had done the special effects, right, on a lot of the stuff. And he's like, here's Bishop cut in half, but he's really like laying in a hole and like all this stuff. Like he was making it like fun and educational, and I thought it was fascinating. Like this movie is unbelievable, and I don't think I slept for a month. And that's not a joke. Like I was convinced that one was going to come out
Aliens
of my
are under your bed.
closet. If I look out the window, there's one out there. But of course, anytime a noise happened on the fucking ceiling when the house was settling, like, oh, that's it. They're coming through the ceiling. That's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah. And
What's going on?
if you spent any time, if you'd spent any time with me, you know that I am obsessed with the Alien universe.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God, me too.
So movies obviously was big for me as a kid, huge for me as a kid. Books and video games were also pretty massive for me for a kid. Aaron, what video game wise, what was the first game that like got you that you were like, oh my gosh, this is my obsession. This is like the biggest game in the world for me.
Final Fantasy,
I knew it.
Which one?
Probably one. Yeah.
the first one.
Oh wow.
So my older brothers, let me back up a little bit. We had a Nintendo and an SES, not even an SNES.
This would be NES, I think, right? For the first
Yep,
one?
just a normal Nintendo Entertainment System, and we also, I think we eventually got a Sega Genesis as well. But my brothers had this friend who would come over to hang out, and he always brought a bag of Nintendo games. Like, I don't know why he had all these games.
In a bag.
And you don't ask why he has all these games.
Yeah, but like he'd come over and my brothers would go off and like they'd go do their thing and go hang out, whatever, and he'd just leave his bag there. And I just had a go at whatever that's how I got to play most of the original NES games that I got to play. And the original Final Fantasy game really just got me. I mean, mind you, I am far from a Final Fantasy fan now, but that game I think was probably the precursor to me like really diving hard into the fantasy realm of geekiness.
So yeah, I'm gonna date myself with you there. For me, same system, but Dragon Warrior.
Yep.
Instead, Dragon Warrior was I was thinking it would be my answer to this question anyway, because I remember that being the first game where it's like, oh my gosh, like I save this and I can keep playing, and like there's a whole big quest here, and I went into this area and there was something that was way too high level for me and I couldn't hit it, but I can come back 2 hours later and I've power creep. Like it was fascinating to see something like that be able to play out on my TV screen instead, and I didn't have to beat it all in one shot.
All I can think of when I think of Dragon Warrior is just grinding slimes.
And then the iron slime shows up and you're like, what the fuck is this thing? Like all the other ones with these little happy things, and this thing's made out of metal. Chad, what about you?
Oof, I might have to go with some eras because that's the only way I think I'm going to get through that list. So let's start, and this is probably going to be no surprise for anybody. We'll start with the first system. That's Sega Genesis for me. That would be Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That was the first game where I could not put it down. I would keep playing it until I memorized all the levels, could get all the Chaos Emeralds, turned into Supersonic, was obsessed, absolutely. And then if we jump a little bit ahead, let's say Dreamcast era. And this is my first real like jump into the RPG world because nothing really hooked me up until this moment. It's going to be a split between Skies of Arcadia and Phantasy Star Online.
Wow, PSO.
Phantasy Star Online, the online game that everyone played, not online.
Correct. Yes.
I don't know either of those games. What are the general plots of them?
So Skies of Arcadia, and this again, like treasure planets coming back into the life. So very, you are basically an air pirate, and you and your friends are like stopping this empire from like getting these weapons that will destroy the world. It's very classic, like hero story quest type thing. Phantasy Star Online, when I played it, I think it was like packaged episode 1 and episode 2. originally on the Dreamcast, it was meant to be like an online multiplayer game. And funny enough that you say that, Aaron, my first take on it was only single player because Dreamcast was a very short-lived console here in the US. I think we all know that, especially the internet service that it was, built with did not last very long. So Phantasy Star Online, the plot is super duper weird and confusing. It's like humanity's world, like Earth or whatever their version of it is gone. They're trying to find a new planet. It turns out this planet, which they thought had already been inhabited by the previous team that had gone out there, everything went to shit. And you're just trying to figure out like why it went to shit. Where did everybody go? Are there any survivors? And can we eventually re-inhabit this planet safely? ? And so that's like the whole plot is you just continuously going down to this planet and trying to figure out what went wrong. And I just remember it being super dope because you could play a dude with a lightsaber and the first boss is a freaking dragon. So I'm like, cool.
Yep.
Perfect combination for me. And then let's jump ahead into the Xbox era and obviously Knights of the Old Republic, the first one. And Ben, maybe you can back me up on those feelings, but Revan was like one of my all-time favorite characters because the reveal during that game was mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, when they first tell you that you've been Darth Revan the whole time, it's just unbelievable. And Revan has the best Star Wars outfit in all of the canon. And I will die on that hill. Like his mask is amazing and everything about him is kind of incredible. And I love that game. I really like the second one too. I'm blanking on the bad guy's name.
Darth Nihilus was the villain, I think, in the second one.
Nihilus. He didn't have a physical being anymore. He was literally just a cloak and a mask. And he could, by putting his hands on the earth of a world, he could steal all the souls and like kill the world that way. And like he was like, everyone was terrified of him. And I loved both of those games just because they like took really big Star Wars story risks like that, which is pretty awesome. Sorry, Chad. I took over.
You're good because I couldn't have said it better. Like that was the first like time. There had been Star Wars games before that, like Rogue Squadron and Shadows of the Empire, but like to be able to play a character that you felt like was truly your own character, you're leveling up, you're managing equipment, your decisions matter. It not only affects what you do, but it also can affect your crew. Like if you go full baddie, like your crew also gets kind of corrupted along with you. Take that team, and now we come into Mass Effect territory, and the entire Mass Effect trilogy has been played a multitude of times across multiple systems in this household. Primarily the second one. That one I think I've played, and Janelle probably has a very similar story. I think I've played that through. In terms of games that take a very long time to complete, I think I've played that one the most.
Yeah. I think at least 8 times for me.
Oh my goodness.
It's one of the best games ever made.
Garrus is my ride or die bro for life.
But have you ever done a Renegade playthrough?
Stop calling us out, Ben. God damn.
I have tried and failed so many times. I can't do it. I just can't. It makes me upset.
Janelle, what about you?
Yeah, all right. Listen up, gang.
Listen up, fam.
These were the games that were lit, yo.
Baby Janelle did not have a game system for a pretty long time, but I did get some educational games. So my first favorite game ever was Jumpstart 3rd Grade.
Is that the one where you go into the robot mansion?
Yep, it's the Robot Mansion one.
I love that game.
Dude, I freaking loved it. Yeah, you were saving like a bunch of robots across different time periods. That was where Baby Janelle met her first husbando. His name is Egbert. He is a robot botanist. He has a flower growing out of his head. Here's a picture. I used to kiss the computer screen when he was on the screen.
You loved him.
I loved him.
So cute.
That's amazing.
But yeah, let's see. I mean, I think I said during the Song of Rest, the first game I ever experienced was Sonic DX. But the first game that really had an impact on me, I'm sure a lot of people have this answer, was Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was so major to me. I remember like with the falling out of the friendship between Sora and Riku, I would lay in bed crying all night because I was so upset by their like loss of friendship and the betrayal and everything. It was introducing me to emotions I had not experienced in my real life before. So it was very impactful. And of course, that intro theme slapped.
All their themes slap,
yeah.
but yeah, man, it's funny to think about this because, like, Kingdom, for people who weren't into Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts was baby's first Final Fantasy.
Yeah, sure thing.
Like, it was the gateway drug. It really was.
Yeah, and then like young teen Janelle from Kingdom Hearts did move up to Final Fantasy because I'm like, oh, what's this all about? The one that was out at the time was Final Fantasy X. And that one also had a pretty profound impact on me too. Again, very emotional story. I loved all of the music. I still have the soundtrack CDs in my car at this very moment.
Awesome.
You have a CD player. Incredible.
In my car, yes, I do. I will say that I don't know if this is like an unpopular opinion or anything. I felt really disheartened by the remaster because what they did, I mean, I love that they made the textures a lot more crisp and everything, but they did something with the faces of all the characters where they do not emote
Weird.
at all. Like they all look like dolls, and it destroyed me to see that because again, the game is so emotional and I loved how expressive the characters used to be. And now they just all have these kind of like, they are just so unexpressive now. It felt like a betrayal of what made the game so great. So yeah, I couldn't play it after playing the remaster, even though it was one of my favorite games of all time. I love the story. I love the very creative environments. I mean, Expedition 33 is pretty reminiscent of that, which is obviously a game I love a whole lot right now. Let's see, in college age, Alice Madness Returns. Again, very
Another good one.
Very good one.
yeah.
American McGee's games are super underrated.
They're so cool. And I have the art book too. Caitlin and I currently co-parent that art book.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I got it for myself, and then Caitlin's birthday came up and I forgot to get her a present. So I gave her that as a present. And then like later on, I'm just like, hey, I kind of want to like look through this art book again. She's like, we can just keep borrowing it from each other back and forth. I'm like, sweet. But yeah, that game has such amazing art, so much detail for how few, like how much, I don't know. It's like, it feels like all of the assets are original when it simply can't be done, you know? Like they do an amazing job of making all of the environments feel just super unique and different and ever changing as you go.
Yeah.
The music, incredible. That was just such an inspiration as a creative.
That game, those games make me kind of bummed out now because I remember playing the first one, and then when Madness Returns came out and playing on Xbox, it was so cool. And then right after the second one came out, they announced a TV show that they had gotten the rights to do an animated TV show, and I was beyond thrilled because it's like, this will be weird as shit. You know, it'll be like this, you know, awesome, dark, you know, horror fantasy, you know, childhood fairy tale kind of thing. And then they canceled that show, but I believe the TV studio or the movie studio retained the rights to Alice. And so American McGee can't even make the games anymore.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't know if the studio kept it, but he lost the rights. He no longer has them, and I couldn't remember the story behind it. But it's not with him. It might be like I think Electronic Arts was publishing it, so maybe it went to them,
Yes,
to the
correct.
TV studio. So maybe Electronic Arts has it, but somehow during all that
Yeah, they do.
negotiation, he lost the rights to his IP.
Yes, I was following along with that, Ben, and it's so sad and disheartening. Like American McGee's final letter about it is just like so crushing to read because he was doing everything he could to put together this pitch packet for the third game. And he was going, like, it was just like his last attempt to try and get them to buy in to produce this game. And they're like, we're not really interested in producing this, but we're going to keep your IP because it's very valuable to us. And it's just like, what the fuck? Which is it?
But they're never going to do anything with it.
They're never going to do
ever.
anything with it. It's terrible. So yeah, he won't get to make it, and he's just kind of lost all the wind in his sails. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Mass Effect, obviously a big one. Baldur's Gate, obviously a big one. And then Expedition 33. I mean, for reasons we mentioned in past podcasts, they're all incredible.
Yeah, Expedition 33 has kind of brought or kindled that Final Fantasy drive in me again, because it feels like I'm going, even though it's very French, it's like I feel like I'm back to playing a JRPG that's fun and has a good story. I kind of just fell off with Final Fantasy because I don't know what they're thinking nowadays. Let me tell you what the best Final Fantasy game is, hands down. I don't care what anyone says. I'll die on
Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube when you play it on the Game Boy SP. Go ahead, Aaron. Repeat what I just said.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
That's not what I said, Aaron.
That game is so good.
It's Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles was actually really fun. We invested so much money in buying Game Boy DS's or whatever it was, Game Boy what were they called? The X?
I thought it was the SP, the one that flipped.
It was the SP. You could do the system link, the game link to it. Yeah.
So much money went into playing that game. Everyone had to have one because your inventory management was done on the SP. So you were like doing stuff on your Game Boy while you're playing the game with everyone. But the Crystal Chronicles had some great stuff to it, like the combining spells together.
Yeah,
you could
was
literally
rad.
cast a spell together and it would just exponentially make it more awesome. But I gotta say, Final Fantasy Tactics was ahead of its time. And I, being a very... I don't know. I'm not going to call myself a devout student at school. I skipped school to play this game so much. Like Tactics, like my friend got that game and invited everyone over to his house. And because this is the crew of guys that I originally started playing tabletop RPGs with. Because the way Tactics was, he had all of us go through and custom make a character. And the party would just be Ramza and us, like, because you had to bring Ramza. So the rest of it was just our custom named characters. And we would get to level them up and go into whatever class we wanted to as we go through the game. And he would literally pass the controller around when it was your character's turn. It was, I have such good memories about playing that game. It was an obsession of mine. And I think a lot of people, that were playing, video games around the mid 90s, which, by the way, mid 90s, golden age of video games right there.
Oh, it's the best.
That's when like Resident Evil was coming out, like all of those just amazing games, Metal Gear Solid, everything.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I mean, don't even get me started on that stuff. I mean, when I think about the first game that ever really got me, it was Street Fighter 2 when I saw it in the arcade.
Yeah.
And like to this day, I mean, Aaron can protest to how many fight sticks I own. I compete at Evo every year. Like I still am such a Street Fighter fanatic. And it's so funny because I would say I prefer co-op games over any type of PvE, but fighting games are like my favorite thing on the planet to play. So yeah, 90s, best era, because that was 92, I think, when Street Fighter 2 came out.
That's when game developers were making games because they loved games and they were making it to share their games with the rest of the world. They were just the innovation, jumping barriers.
They're literally creating the genres. All of that's being done without like really knowing the impact, really knowing like how you can target audiences or anything like there wasn't that business savvy mindset yet to where everything needs to be monetized and everything needs to like have, like a toy line and a cartoon show and like all these other things in video games. It's just kind of like pure. It's just like you got some of the wildest ideas that now are franchises. They're mega franchises. And now it's more of a business mindset, but they still can create good stuff from it. But like you're talking about I think of Rare on like the Nintendo stuff, like just literally doing these wild ideas that probably shouldn't have been made. Like you have a swearing squirrel on the N64, like pretty like just like wild ideas. And
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
So good.
I love that we're in the indie, we're in the indie revolution with like Kickstarter and stuff like that. So people don't have to necessarily go through these major publishers that are going to shackle them to certain ideas or like a DLC plan or, like paid updates or anything like that. It's just like, hey, we need this game to be funded. The people are going to fund it. Now let's make it. And arcades are coming back because now there's barcades and stuff like that. So you can have that sort of, like Ben was talking about, that sort of Street Fighter moment is now like alive and well again, where you can actually go to arcades and like hang out and play games with people, which is it's where a lot of these memories are kind of tied to, really.
It has been amazing to watch the evolution of video games over the years. Like I bought a PlayStation 1 in the 90s because I went to a friend's house and saw Tomb Raider, like a 3-dimensional game where the camera can pan around. It was the most mind-blowing thing I'd ever seen in my life,
So the reason I got my PS1 was similar. It was Resident Evil 2.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a friend play that, and when he walked over different surfaces, it made different sounds.
Yeah.
So like because there was like right in the front of the police station, you walk over a car door, like off a cop car, and you leave the ground and then you go on the car door and it makes the appropriate noise. And I was just like, oh my God, the future's here now.
Yeah. And that game is in specific. Okay. And I'm not sure, Janelle and Chad, if you guys knew this about Resident Evil 2, the original release, it came on 2 separate game discs. Okay. If you put in Leon's disc and you play through Leon's and then save the game after you're done with his and then put Claire's in, you get one story. Because you get to play Leon, then Claire. If you put Claire's in first and play her first, there are different things that happen because they follow paths. Like your first playthrough of the game, you typically follow a specific path, and that you can choose which character. So it's different depending on which order you would play them and which disc you were playing first and second. It was absolutely amazing ingenuity.
Yeah.
I don't miss the era of multiple disc games because I'm fairly confident. I think it was Final Fantasy VII and it was on 4+ discs or something crazy like
4
that.
discs.
Yeah.
And my half siblings might have shoved one of the discs in a VHS player, thinking that's how it worked. And so I could only ever play disc 1 because disc 2 was no longer with us, and therefore 3 and 4 were no longer accessible.
No use.
They're no use.
Oh, no.
So have you ever played Final Fantasy VII all the way through?
No, I've only ever played just the first disc worth of content. I've never played any of the re-releases or the remakes or whatever the shit they're calling them these days. Yeah. I don't even know which one to buy because I went to go see like it's Final Fantasy VII Recoded Imagination. I'm like, what do these words mean? Which one am I supposed to buy?
Okay. Whoa. You say, what do these words mean when you're the one that's talking about your love for Kingdom Hearts, the worst gaming title?
Words mean nothing in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. It's all about emotion.
Yeah.
Isn't one of them like 358 over 2 days?
Unchained Passion.
208 and a half days later.
Yeah.
There is a Kingdom Hearts title name generator, and I've played with that and just lost my shit laughing at some of them.
They're probably more realistic than they're probably.
We could probably play a game with someone who was like a big Kingdom Hearts fan and use the name generator and play the game like real name or generated name. And I wonder how many someone would get.
Yeah.
Unlock the cacophony of lies.
Oh my gosh.
Sleep is just merely your awakened state in your dreams.
Yeah. I can't with them anymore, unfortunately.
You're also you're talking about a franchise that literally makes you have to understand that there is a cell phone game that I think was only exclusive in certain countries that actually has a tie into the ending of the third freaking game. And if you don't know what's going on, hey, guess what? You're still not going to know what's going on. And even if you do know what's going on, you're still not going to know what's going on.
I watched a YouTube video that claimed to explain the plot of Kingdom Hearts all through all the games. I still don't know what the fuck Kingdom Hearts is about.
No.
Yeah.
I could say the same for, I watched a video that tried to explain the plot of all the Metal Gear games, and I still don't understand any of that either. So.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, unfortunately, like it lost its favor with me over time. Like I did like Kingdom Hearts 2, but I was so annoyed by the fact that they were just like platform jumping nonstop. And it's just like, what the hell? I'm supposed to like buy a different system for all these different games. That's super annoying. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I was really disappointed with just how they treated the characters because especially Sora, who in the first couple games, like, yeah, he's naive, but he's just like, no, he's just a dumb guy now. And it's like, you can't relate to him anymore.
I think they even did what? They did like the Samus thing and he got depowered at the beginning of the third game or something. I remember some kind of plot thing. I'm like, wait, no, what? Oh, come on, man. What is this? I've been waiting for this sequel for what, 12 plus years, and you're going to depower me? Rude.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing to me. Again, not sure if that's another hot take. Sorry, Kingdom Hearts fans, but I just don't. I can't with that game.
No, I'm sure I've angered people in not saying that Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy game out there, because
It's not.
that is the opinion of so many people. But having been someone who played a lot of the Final Fantasy games before 7 came out, was 7 good? Yeah, it was good. Was it the best one? No.
No, 6 is.
4.
6.
4 is mine.
10.
Guys, you're all wrong. Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles. Like 6 does hold a really special place in my heart, though, because the music was just so good. The plot point that I had a big problem, because 6 is amazing. 6 is a story kind of like Avengers Infinity War, where they lose, like the heroes lose, the world freaking ends, but they have to keep moving and have to keep going and still try to save this broken world. It's a great story. I think what the meta-wise, gameplay-wise, what I didn't like about it is I love Final Fantasy games where the characters are truly unique to one another.
Mm-hmm.
And they were super unique. Like magic was this rare thing in the world that people would freak out if they saw someone casting a spell. And then you get to the Espers and everyone knows magic. Everyone can learn any spell you want. Everyone's the same freaking character. Everyone's casting Ultima, and that's how we beat the game. When I just wanted Terra and Celeste to be the ones who were casting magic, because they were special in that, kind of situation.
You know what? That's a fun topic to think about, like worlds and how they handle magic. Because I immediately am thinking of like Full Metal Alchemist and like their take on quote unquote like magical abilities is one of the coolest like concepts, I think. And then if you want to fast forward to today, like Demon Slayer. Oh, the breath like
stuff.
How Demon Slayer like portrays how people can like use magical abilities. Oh,
I love talking about magic. We could totally do a whole On Tap episode.
Yes.
Of magic systems.
New On Tap.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, there's a book series by V. Schwab called the Darker, or I think the trilogy is called The Shades of Magic, but the first book I think is called The Darker Shades of Magic. And it has the coolest magic system in it that I have ever seen. And I highly recommend. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but the idea is like 18th century kind of London-ish, like put it that way, actually probably even earlier than that. And they've already figured out interdimensional travel. And there's 3 different Londons. There's a red London, a gray London, and a white London. And they all are very magical places, but gray London and or black London, red London sucked all the magic away from white London. And then how they're trying to fight to actually get the magic back. It is unbelievable series.
Interesting.
Very cool.
It's so cool. It would lend itself to being like the coolest D&D, like a subset of rules, like campaign, if someone wanted to do something with that, because it's very much what you just said, Aaron, like magic, when magic exists and everybody knows it exists, but it doesn't mean that everybody gets to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very selective, and magic itself is selective about who it allows use it. It's fascinating.
Ben, I did want to, in the spirit of your original concept of this episode, I was going to throw out some books.
Oh, that's kind of you. Because I know that's for me.
You did mention books.
I did.
You did mention books. So,
Yeah.
And then Ben, this is where I think you and I connected on a couple of titles specifically. Unfortunately, they are considered Legends material now.
Oh, but they're still so good.
They are still phenomenal, and I think they've reprinted them under the banner of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Heir to the this is all Star Wars, by the way. Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and I think The Last Command.
The Last Command, yeah. So
is the Thrawn trilogy
by Timothy Zahn.
Not even just good Star Wars books, like just really good reads in general. I couldn't recommend them enough. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, my cousin Brian got those for me for either Christmas or my birthday when I was real young, and I read through those as a kid who was already obsessed with Star Wars, and to get like these stories of just Luke becoming an incredible Jedi and a hero, and meeting Mara Jade, and all that. Maybe that was the fourth and the fifth that came after the original trilogy. Maybe that's when Mara Jade showed up, and then to get the sequel trilogy we got with Luke living on an island and being a wuss, it hurt my heart because the Timothy Zahn books made him so cool.
What's wild though, Ben, is that they recently have referenced and have come out with Mara Jade material at the Disney parks. You could literally get a Mara Jade lightsaber. And I was like,
wow,
unfortunately that's a deep cut now, even though I freaking love the Mara Jade line. And okay, sure. Lightsaber in a comic book. Okay, let's go.
I mean, maybe they are foreshadowing that they're going to see if those things sell. They might be seeing like, oh, we could do something with her, make her not canon. But yeah, those books are incredible. And he recently wrote a new Thrawn trilogy too, that talks about how Thrawn, who is now he's canon because he's in Rebels and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Rebels is good. I love Rebels.
Yeah, Rebels is fantastic.
So Janelle, what books shaped your geekiness?
This is a hard one because I did read a lot, and I'm trying to think of ones that really had strong impact on me. Like I would tear through so many Nancy Drew books, and I think that like from there on out, it shaped my taste in books to being stuff that was a mystery. And then I like scary books quite a lot, which is funny because I sometimes struggle with watching any horror films, but I love reading very scary stories. I think those are super fun. I'm currently reading a story called The Deep, which I think the author of that is Nick Cutter. Let me see if that is correct.
It is. It's Nick Cutter. I've got it too.
Nice. Yeah. So that one's kind of like sort of in the vein of like The Thing. Yeah. I love mysteries and I love horror. Like I think those are the ones that capture me the most. So yeah, it's kind of funny going from like Nancy Drew to just like terrifying stories and like Stephen King stuff and everything like that. Yeah. A fun one that I read. I think people, it's like hit or miss for people, at least in my experience. I know one of my very good friends, her name is Erin. She did not like this story. I absolutely loved it, and so did Joe. It's called Meddling Kids. And it is basically, like, you can tell from the title,
the
it's
dark
essentially
Scooby-Doo.
kind of, it's a spin on Scooby-Doo,
Okay.
only it's dark. Like, these are them as adults. They've grown up. They used to have kind of like a mystery gang together. So it's not exactly Mystery Inc.
It's copyright free, a mystery organization.
Corporation.
Yeah, exactly.
Mystery Corp.
One of the characters had died. One of them's in a mental institution. The other two are just like going through their own situations. They all have like PTSD from this one case that they had in their childhood.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's Alice Return to Madness meets Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So yeah, they go back and revisit this case that scarred all of them and like potentially took the life of one of their friends too. So that was a fun one. I think why some people might not like it, at least for Erin, she said she didn't really enjoy the writing style. I thought it was very fun how the author played with the medium of book. Like it's pretty fun. But yeah, the story was really good. And I like when when a piece of media can sort of take something familiar, but then subvert it. Like that's always awesome.
I have actually been reading horror books more and more as well. And I recently read The Deep, and I read another book by Nick Cutter, which I'm blanking on. It's about a bunch of kids that go on a camping trip, and there's stuff there that decide that they don't need to be alive anymore.
Ooh, that
That's
sounds
also
creepy.
a really good book, and I'm blanking on the name. It's really, really, really good. So I didn't know that about you, and we'll have to talk about horror books more because that's been like a main go-to lately for me to read.
Which is so funny because you two are like the most bubbly, kind, sweet people I know. And just knowing that you've got like these absolutely demented books just sitting behind you, ready to be read again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it The
Yeah.
Troop?
The Troop. Thank you. Yes.
Cool. Is that the one with like some sort of like contagion or something?
Yeah.
Body horror going on?
Yeah. Lots of body hoarder.
Oh, delightful. I think Joe read that one and I think he said he enjoyed that one a little bit more than The Deep. So
Okay.
I'm interested in checking that out.
Aaron, what about you?
When I was in 6th grade, I met one of my best buddies. This is when I was living in Minnesota. And he really was responsible for shaping a lot of my geekiness, just because he introduced me to so many things. Like, he was the one who brought me into the group of people that played tabletop RPGs. But when we first met, he got me reading Raymond E. Feist, Magician Apprentice, and then Magician Master.
Oh, yeah.
And the series of books is still like my favorite, probably top of my list. But just it really sent me down even further. That here I just finished playing like the original Final Fantasy game, and then I meet my buddy Noel, and he introduces me to Magician, and so I'm just like committed to the fantasy setting now. And again, kind of harkening back to the magic system stuff. That's such a cool book on explaining how magic works and how it's so rare and how there's so many complexities to magic. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's kind of a story about this young kid who kind of stumbles upon learning magic, and his best friend stumbles upon this ancient elven relics, like a sword and armor. And while one of them becomes this great magician, one of them becomes this great warrior, and the world is being it's almost sci-fi and fantasy colliding, because in Midkemia, the world there is this alien race of they're still fantasy, but they are essentially people from a different planet have figured out how to open portals on other planets and invade. And so they're having to fight off this other race of invaders. But it's really cool. But yeah, that's definitely my go-to, I would say, for books that shaped me.
I have never read those, and you just sold me on them. So
I've got all of them if you ever want to borrow them.
I definitely don't find much fantasy these days, especially from that era, that I haven't read. So excited about hearing about something else.
I just found The Troop on Joe's shelf.
There you go. There you go. Give it a
A
read.
little bedtime story for later.
Yeah.
How far we've come from, being scared of Little Nemo in Slumberland, and now you're reading body horror, field trips, narratives, and unfazed, sleeping like a baby.
Sleeping like a wee babe.
It's funny how a lot of this stuff, though, that we talked about fits what I know about you guys just so well. Though it's like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And even Janelle reading horror books. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I can see that. Well, I think with that being a wonderful ender, thank you guys for spending time with me around the bar a little bit. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what are you all drinking? We need to ask that.
Oh yeah. I was having myself a nice 0 sugar Barks root beer. And it was fantastic.
Ooh, yummy.
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
put it in the
really
freezer
good.
for 20 minutes before the podcast started, so it could be really cold, because for some reason these days it doesn't seem like the drinks can get cold enough. It's too damn hot here.
It's only 115 outside. It's fine.
It's fine. We're surviving.
Really, really cool thing I discovered is that if you take root beer, and I usually just use like a 0 sugar root beer as well, and you add maybe a little bit of vanilla to it, and then you pour heavy cream into it and mix it up, it tastes like a melted root beer float.
All right. Well, sold. I'll try that
Yum.
this week. It sounds fantastic.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
That's what I'm having right now. So
I'm gonna do that with oat milk. That sounds good. Oh my God.
What about you, Janelle?
Oh well, I'm very uninteresting. I got just most giant glass of water because our water has been shut off all day long. Our water main broke. Yeah, our water main broke for the third time in the last 2 months.
Oh boy.
It's so stupid. It keeps happening. Our neighbor is super nice. He's like, hey, if you guys need to, come over to our pool and get a bucket of water for your business. It's like, cool, thanks.
The way you're making it, come over, we got a whale.
We got a whale, you guys. Yuck.
Just don't fall down on it. That's what happened to our last neighbors. You ever wonder why your house was for sale?
Oh my God.
All their stuff was still in it?
We had to cross the pasture to go get that bucket of water.
Well, I just done incriminated myself, so I need you to get in that damn well. You get.
They left behind their pet rat man. I don't know where he got to. Wait, Chad, did you say what yours was?
I didn't say nothing.
What's your drink, girl?
No.
Oh, you know it. Okay, it's not actually because I have no drink, and I don't want to be that guy. So how about this? In the spirit of Star Wars, and we were talking about the Disney parks a little bit earlier. I'm having a calf.
Nice.
Which if you haven't had a calf,
What's that?
they're delicious.
A late night calf.
It is an iced coffee with heavy whipping cream with a slight vanilla tinge to it and Cocoa Puffs on top.
What?
Sounds weird?
It's good.
It's so good. It's actually really refreshing.
Nice.
Janelle, do you know about these two's obsession with Disney parks? They can tell you anything you ever want to know.
This is, you
It's
know what?
incredible.
Insane. I didn't know this about them.
It's incredible. Like it's true love. It's true love.
Literally, Aaron and I were having a conversation about the 3 different versions of Test Track at Epcot.
Yes.
And we were comparing notes.
Oh my God. Yeah, if you go to Chad's house, you'll see miniatures of like different rides from Disneyland.
Yeah. And it's been fun to talk about like the differences between 3 different versions of rides now that we've been to Tokyo Disney. So it's like, what was different about the Pirates of the Caribbean or the Small World there or the Jungle Cruise? So yeah, we're enormous Disney and Universal nerds. If you guys weren't aware of that.
Chad got me hooked onto this YouTube channel that is all about theme parks because we were at Tucson Comic-Con. He showed me about
Epic Universe.
the How to Train Your Dragon ride. I think they just done the test flight for the dragons, and like the lady had satellite shots. And every time she shows a video now, I watch it. And like, I don't go to the parks a lot, but it's like, it's fascinating. So
Is it Jenny Nicholson or something like that?
No, but she has a wonderful documentary about the Galactic Star Cruiser, which is worth watching.
I watched all 4 hours.
It's 4 hours. Yeah, it was like,
I can back up many of those claims because we did it, and there's not a lot wrong in that video.
oh man, that's a whole podcast topic to talk to you about. You're going to the.
Oh my God, I would love to talk about the Star Cruiser. I have thoughts.
Guys, anything else that we want to throw out there before we call it a night? Last call.
I think the last thing we should talk about is our Discord channel.
Ooh, please go ahead, sir.
We need people to go to our Discord channel so we can get some more questions for the Ask Cask.
yeah, and you guys can find a link to our Discord channel at the top of our website. So if you go to www.breakbattleroll.com, look for the Discord icon at the top right of the page, give it a click, and join us. Let's talk about Archipelago. Let's talk about video games. Let's talk about nerdy stuff. We're excited to have anyone join to be part of the community.
Yeah, and we are going to have a channel on there for the Ask Cask. So if there's anything that you want to ask in regards to the show or anything related to BBR or just nerdom in general, throw it in there. We might answer it on a future episode.
Yes, absolutely we will. Well, thank you, everybody. Please, yes, go join our Discord. Go listen to, as of this recording, we just released a new episode as well last weekend. So if you don't have emotions, you won't enjoy the episode. But if you have emotions as we do, you'll love it. So, but thank you so much for joining us tonight, and everyone have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm off to get a drink that's not water.
I'm off to jump in a well.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
yuck.
off to getting a
getting out to
whale.
the back pastures.
I'm gonna go find the Kingdom Hearts.
I'm sure my neighbor only has the purest intentions for me.
Turns out they were at the bottom of a whale.
0.5.
Oh, you know what I found down there? I found 358 over 2 days. It's right there under the water.
Oh shit!
Final
that's
Fantasy
where that
VII
went.
reclaim soul drop distance.
That's it.
Hey, thank you for turning into another episode of On Tap. We hope you enjoyed the conversation greatly and found some nuggets of wisdom to take away. Don't forget, you can follow us on our social media channels and get a lot more updates and behind-the-scenes content. You can find us on Instagram at breakbattleroll. You can find us on Blue Sky at breakbattleroll.bsky.social. You can also find us on TikTok at breakbattleroll_. We love hearing from our listeners, so please feel free, share your thoughts, your feedback, or just come by and say hi. Until next time, play your TTRPGs responsibly.